Good evening. Welcome back to the Left Lane Chronicles, where the rides are real, the roads are rough, and the stories don't flinch. This is episode 5, and today we're joined by a rider who doesn't just go by fearless, she embodies it. From asphalt to advocacy, Fearless has made her mark as a powerful voice for motorcycle community or in the motorcycle community and the fight for PTSD awareness. She's the kind of soul who understands that healing isn't quiet. It rumbles beneath the helmet, it echoes in every mile, and it demands you to go deeper. Today, we talk survival, sisterhood, sacred roads, and what it means to ride like you've got nothing left to prove. Welcome to the Left Lane, Fearless.
Thank you. Thank
I just want to say this is definitely an honor to have someone of your caliber on the channel. Not only are you a veteran, but a fellow rider. And I'll be honest, you out there getting the miles. You are definitely a ground pounder. I will say that. So I guess to really dive deep and see where and get to where everything truly started, take us back to the beginning. Where did your love for motorcycles come from, and how did the name Fearless come into your life?
I'm gonna make it short and sweet about the starting the bike. I was when I first joined the military, young 20-something-year-old, having a good time partying with everybody. We used to meet at this one particular house. You know how you form your family, and everybody would go to this house and eat, do whatever. And there were guys that came with motorcycles, and I always just would watch. And so I finally got up the nerve to ask somebody to give me a ride. And so he took me on. It was a ninja. It was a ninja, and he took me for a ride a couple of days over time. And then one time we went, I'm getting ready to shock you guys. So one time we went riding, and the guy, this goes all with all my PTSD, everything. Okay, so coming at you, this guy took me for a ride, and he took me out in the middle of nowhere. And you know the old saying, gas or ass.
Mm-hmm.
You're either gonna ride this bike or whatever. I got on that bike and rode it out. I dragged his gears, but I got it out. And he was so impressed with me that he was like, okay, stop, get on the back, I'll take you home. And that's where I had a love for motorcycles, but he tainted it. And so lo and behold, because in the initial was my drill sergeant in basic training. He used to come in a bike, and I just would notice. I was a squad leader, and I noticed that I knew when he was showing up on that Harley, that potato, and so I fell in love with the sound of a bike, because I, whatever reason, I just fell in love with it, and I started looking at it. So when I got to my first duty station, and I was like, the guys were out there with their bikes, I was interested, and so I wanted to ride. So he tainted me for that, and but I still never lost the love for riding. I wanted to ride. Lo and behold, I got married. The husband didn't ride. The husband still doesn't ride. And we had kids, and so yeah, he kind of like, no, honey, you can't ride. You don't need a bike. So I put it off. Fast forward to 2020, COVID, and now everybody's talking mental health, and that's the husband. So they're talking mental health, and so I seek help. After all those years, I finally got help for what caused me to leave the military, which is the PTSD. Everybody know it's not a secret. If you know me, I talk about it. I'm not ashamed of it. I am a survivor of MST, military sexual trauma, PTSD. So I do have PTSD, but that's why I got out of the military. I did not go. I didn't get deployed. I I didn't make it that far. But which is why I kind of sort of started really pushing the PTSD on my side because people assume PTSD looks a certain way.
Right. For sure.
Look, if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't figure it out. But I have my things. I have my anxieties. I have um, my worry about. I'm always looking around. I'm very cautious of what's going on, that kind of stuff. But of course, once I started therapy, one of the things I wanted to do was take back control. Like I took control of that motorcycle. And so I went and signed up at Harley Davidson and got my license through Harley Davidson. Started riding. Best advice I got was, sis, my now adopted brother Dino, and sis, do not buy a brand new bike. Get you a used bike because you don't know what kind of rider you're going to be, number one, and you're going to drop it. Nobody wants to drop their new bike.
There's only two types of people: people that haven't dropped their bikes, and people that had dropped their, or people that have dropped their bikes, and people that haven't dropped their bikes yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and I dropped it millions of times. I had a Honda 750 at first, a Shadow, and he was right. I didn't know what kind of rider I was. I thought I was going to ride to work, ride around town, you know, just be seen on a motorcycle. What I call now show bikers.
So I guess speaking because you said that the PTSD due to what happened and how you found your love of writing, well, found that love of writing. How do you say that because of that, you became more of a advocate, and how does it? Well, you said you became an advocate. How does that shape the way that you ride and the way that you live your life on the road?
So organic. So things are kind of handed to me, and I feel like I'm supposed to talk about it because I don't go looking for it, don't go seeking it, I don't go seeking to tell it, even though I will talk about it, but I don't look for these outlets to tell. Um, and I had someone approach me. I work on Hilton Head Island, and I think it was in 2023. It's 2020, yeah, 2023, 22, 23. I was on the cover of the version of Hilton Head Monthly, Bluffton Monthly. I was one of the, I don't know, seven most intriguing people to know in the area. They found me to do the story. I wasn't thinking just like this now with this story. I wasn't thinking tell my story. I was like, oh, they want to interview me. So when we started interview, the female that interviewed me, the reporter that interviewed me, she had went through my Instagram page and she found a picture that has a filter on it that says PTSD. And I think I even said this is what PTSD looked like. And it's just a picture of me. And so we went from there, and that's how my story actually got out. That's how I actually told why I had PTSD. Up until then, I didn't talk about it, even though I wasn't trying to hide it. So she told me, and that helped open it up. I had just started writing and whatnot, and so that helped me kind of just let a lot of it go on. Mind you, finally in some good therapy. Finally found the right therapist. That's huge. You have to have the right therapist.
Right.
You can, and don't give up. Keep looking for a therapist. Keep
Don't settle.
looking for the help. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to keep asking until you find the help. So, because I hear a lot of people say, "Well, she wasn't good, so I'm not going. I'm not this." Keep looking, and basically that's what I did, and I finally found the right help, and it coincided with me getting my license, then doing that interview, and riding to work, just realizing that I was releasing stress or I was relaxing. I was in the moment. Nothing was talking to me about what had happened. I was in the moment. You have to me, you have to be in the moment. I know there's times you kind of go out because you're comfortable, but the majority of the time you're on the mic, you are definitely in the moment. So
Absolutely.
it was therapy. It's still therapy, except now the therapy has gotten even better. I've identified other parts of riding as therapy versus just getting on a bike. Now it's actually the wind hitting my body and that constant massage of the wind, things like that.
I totally agree with that, and I'm pretty sure everyone that's watching can as well. And with riding being more of a solo thing for a lot of us, healing is definitely one of them things that's not. So who's been in your corner when you go down those dark roads?
My husband, number one, he's there for me all the time. He gets all of it, the good, the bad, all of it. So I thank him a lot for that. My kids, of course. But on the outside, um, I do have some sisters and brothers that I ride with, and they all know, and they keep me on the straight and narrow. If I go missing, they look for me. If when I say go missing, I go quiet. They look for me. So my support system is built based on friendship. It's not blood family because I'm in Savannah, Georgia. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. The only family that I have here that is blood is my husband and my 4 kids and their kids. There's no other people here that are blood. So everybody that's around me that I say you're my family, you're handpicked, they're handpicked and brought into my life. And I trust them with who I am and how I am and all of my quirks that come along with being someone who suffers PTSD because I'm an insomniac, something serious. Insomnia is really bad for some people who suffer. And I have brothers that I'll call in the middle of the night or they'll call and say, hey, you up? Yeah, I'm up. And, so they'll talk me through it, And some say, go to bed.
Right.
Go lay down. Just go lay down.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of people that are really they don't judge me because people still get judged for things that they don't have control over.
Absolutely.
So they don't judge me, and that's a huge thing because even sometimes I am embarrassed to tell them that I've been up all night because I can't sleep or that I'm starting to remember things that I don't want to remember because I go through that a lot.
And I can relate to that as far as making sure that being around people that don't judge you for the things you go through. And I can say that only because my brother here, cut off, he's always been in my corner. If I'm ever going through a dark time, I know I can pick up the phone and call him no matter what. Even when I go on long rides, he's the same way. That man will call me like 5, 10 times. Hey, you good, brother? You good, brother? Make sure you're straight.
Yeah,
Make sure you're straight.
yeah,
And the fact that he does that, it's never an annoying type thing because I know that he just wants to make sure I'm good. Because
right,
being out on the road, anything can happen.
right,
And just knowing that you have those people that's willing to reach out, to make sure you're straight, it definitely makes you feel good, and it shows that you do have a solid support system.
right.
And like I said, like he is my family. I don't even just say he's my friend. He's definitely my family. You know what I'm saying? He's my brother for life. And to have good people in your corner is it's the best feeling in the world. So I
It's the
can.
best feeling. Because even when you do have, or for me, even though there are some times that I'm still embarrassed to call and say I'm struggling, and I
Mhm.
have to fight through. They're not going to care. They're not going to. I shouldn't say care. They're not. It's okay. You can call them. That they want you to call and say, "Hey, I'm having a bad time. I just need somebody to talk to." So it is
A lot of
good
it
to
has
know.
to do being a burden. Also, I would
Right,
imagine you don't want to
right.
be a burden to another person, or you don't know what that other person is going through. So who are because that's Shaul does that sometimes. He'll say, I know he's giving me my flowers, so I appreciate it. But we've had that conversation where it's like, well, I'm going through this, so I don't want to bother you with what I'm doing. But
Right.
even though there's like, even though it might sound like made up or whatever, it's a little Facebook meme, I guess. But I'd rather hear you cry and tell your stories than carry your casket, and that is the truth. And being in the Marine Corps, and being in the military in general, you understand the people that have decided that they didn't want to be a burden to others, and they didn't want to call, or they didn't feel
Mm,
like
me
they
too.
thought it would be a waste of time to
Yeah.
share what they were going through. And unfortunately, maybe being in the motorcycle set or being in this world, we think that we got to be hard asses or badasses, and it is hard for us to ask for help. So maybe this will change some people's viewpoints on things like that.
Of this whole journey that started in May, um, that's making this um, more awareness. I do hope that's my thing, that it somehow, some way meet someone and help them understand that they could do whatever it is they need to do.
Hmm.
Everybody, because it's not necessarily on a motorcycle. It could be learning to run. It could be learning to swim. It could be whatever that heart desire is that's going to help keep that stress level down, or to take their mind off, so that you're not sitting and just letting it take over. So I hope that I am giving somebody an outlet, a way out of whatever they're caught into.
I believe this definitely will. Um, that leads me to you know your rides. What is a ride that you'll never forget? Not because it was easy, but something that that taught you a lesson, about life, that brought out something beautiful, whether it was a scenic route or something. But what is that ride for you?
So September, I turned 60 on 22nd of September. I turned 60, and I left that was a Sunday. Monday morning, early Monday morning, I left and went to Indianapolis to meet my cousin Rick, who is also my handler. I'll explain that. But I met him in Indianapolis, and we made the trek up to Angle Inlet, Minnesota. Coming back, we went to, because it was late at night, we knew we needed to be on an interstate to make sure we had open gas stations, because we went all back roads up. Beautiful country. Minnesota and those lakes are absolutely beautiful. Um, I don't know if I want to live up there because it snows, and I don't know if I want to do that ever again, but it's a beautiful country. So we went up there, and we were coming back. Um, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, coming down I-29, I think it was. But we're coming down, and there's absolutely nobody out there. But also, it is close to the big sky thing, and it's absolutely no clouds. The sky was clear as a bell, and it was dark, dark. And I just so happened to glance up, and I saw the stars. It was phenomenal. It's like when you go in those planetariums and they have all the stars. It was just like that. And it was just me and him riding down this highway. That was extremely memorable. I think about that a lot. It was awe inspiring. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight. And it was pitch dark. But my latest two things that I've done, I went out to the West Coast, but I wanted to go down um, Forrest Gump Road. So I got there. That's
What
in
is that?
Mexican Hat, Utah. And I did the Forrest Gump thing. and that was wonderful. But it's the whole road, it's the whole Route 163 that was
Oh wow.
just everything. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to make you feel what I was feeling, or how it was just so, I don't know how to tell you. I honestly don't have words for it. It was
Cool.
magnificent. Like I would ride all the way back out there just to go back down that road to make sure that's what I was feeling again. Like I want to know that that's really what I was feeling.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful ride. It was beautiful. Um, with the stone mountains, and it looked like somebody went out there and deliberately placed them in the way they were placed, because they weren't perfect, but they were perfect. They were perfectly imperfect, and they were just phenomenal. The other thing I did that would stay with me forever, and I is I went up Pikes Peak in Colorado.
Wow.
I have a problem going across bridges in a car. I have a problem going up in the mountains in a car. But I went, I can get on a motorcycle and go across the bridge. As a matter of fact, I look for bridges to go across on a motorcycle now. I don't know if it's the low center of gravity or whatever, but I absolutely love riding my motorcycle over a bridge. And I don't have a problem going up into the mountains on my motorcycle,
Hmm.
not in a car. So somebody said, "Oh, you should go up Pikes Peak," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll go up Pikes Peak." I don't know why. I have no idea why I agreed to that, because it's only 18 miles up. I say only. It's
Wow.
only 18 miles up, but you go, when you finally reach the summit, it's 14,115 feet in the air.
Wow.
So um, I've been to the Tail of the Dragon 5 times. 5 times. I think I've ridden it 5 times.
Yeah.
In general, when I say I go with other people that have never been, they're like, "Hey, can you go with me?" So I'll take them up. I'll go up there with them to the Tail of the Dragon, and then of course I'm not going to just let them go by themselves. I'll ride it with them and come back. So I've ridden it 5 times. Um, and then there's Cherahela Skyway.
Hmm.
So when I first started going up the to the summit, it was like, "Oh, I've been um on the Tail of the Dragon. This is practice. Tail of the Dragon. This is what all that was for. This practice to go up there." Got up. That was maybe about 6, 7 miles in. I was like, "Oh, this is Cherahela Parkway, Skyway. This is great. I've done this many of times. I'm good."
Right.
Those last 4 to 4 miles, I started, and I'm being very honest. I'm not exaggerating. I started cussing myself out because I'm like, "You don't even like heights. Why the H are you up here in this? Why are you up here on a motorcycle and there's no guardrails or anything? Why are you up here?" And so I started fussing at myself, about mile 15, 16, I started talking to God. About 17, I started fussing at God. Then God had it out. I told him, I said, "I don't feel you. I don't know where you are, but you're not here." My,
Yo, she said God left her stranded.
yes, you said you weren't gonna ever leave me. So listen, this is on video, so I'm not exaggerating. This on video. And I don't know if everybody's going to get to see that video, but it's on video. So about 17 and a half miles, I was bawling. I was crying. And I was starting to really break down, crying, like boohoo crying. And I got to the summit, and I go and I park my bike. I'm looking at like, why did I park so far from the door? But I think I was hiding, because when I watched the video, I didn't remember this. I got there and I sat on the bike crying for a little bit because I had to calm down, and got off the bike and went in and was a little dazed or whatever. And I do remember saying, "You better make sure you get a patch while you up here." because you're not coming back. So I got my patch, and what I missed out on was the mile high, not the mile high, but the altitude donuts that they can only make up at that altitude. I missed out trying the donuts. There's a cafe up there that you can only get those particular donuts up there.
Wow.
And yeah, there's a museum up there. There's it's a small museum, but there's a museum. There's an overlook. It's a really pretty place that I know from video because I was kind of out of it. So I came back down, and I was supposed to go to the $1 Million Highway. I came back down. I took my time. As a matter of fact, I rode behind another set of motorcyclists because I didn't want to have to look out. I wanted to follow somebody's tires. I wanted to look down at the ground and come down because I did not want to look out and see, all that. So I really haven't seen I didn't see it in person. I know that sounds crazy. I've seen it on my video. That's it. I don't know what it looks like. So go ahead.
So I guess that leads us to rituals. Let's talk about rituals. Before you go on any type of ride, I'm pretty sure that right there made you change the way you prepare for your rides now.
Yes.
So what gear, or how do you choose your routes now before you go on a ride?
So Pete was the one that told me to go up Pikes Peak, and he doesn't get a vote for anything else for the rest of the year. He doesn't get to throw in anything. So because I will take somebody's advice. They'll say, hey, you should go see this, because my whole thing is I just want to be on the bike. It's the riding for me. The places that I go to are turnaround points. They're not necessarily because I have to go there and sightsee. I'm not going to get off my bike and stay somewhere 2 or 3 days and sightsee. I'm going to go make the ride, turn around, and come back. So Pete doesn't get the vote anymore because that was crazy. But I now it's a desire, because I see where other people are going on their bikes, and I want to see it, that land for myself. I want to see the America for myself. So so far I have 36 states signs. So I have to get the rest. That's fueling which way I'll go on my next long ride, which is towards Alaska.
That's gonna be a ride.
Yeah. Alaska's going to be a horse of a different color for sure.
Right.
So a lot of people ride to escape. Do you ride to escape, or do you ride to confront what's going on inside? I know we talked about PTSD, but if you want to elaborate on that.
Do I ride to escape? Yes. I run for myself, so to speak. I run for myself. My bike is in the shop right now, so that's the only reason. And it's not a bad thing. I put it in to get the tires changed and all that, and I'll pick it up this week. But that's the only reason I haven't been anywhere, because the bike's not here. I'm always running, trying to chase that particular high. And it's not a high in a sense. It's more of a calmness that I call. It's a calmness for me. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find that place of peace. So I'm always chasing that. I'm always escaping my thoughts.
And obviously I'm no therapist, but that's got to be a symptom of PTSD. Always trying to move, always trying to go somewhere new, always trying to be one step ahead. And we kind of joked about it last episode. One of the guys was making a joke, and that literally was the definition of PTSD that we were talking about. So with that being said, I have this question. What do you say to someone battling PTSD who doesn't know where to start, or who's afraid to even talk about it, let alone ride through it?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I do have a military background. So I did 7 years in the military. My husband is retired Army. And so I do have the VA behind me that I could just walk in and let them know what's going on. So, but there are a lot of, and I don't have them right at my fingertips, but there is a lot of free resources that you can use to get started. If it's you can't find anything, you could at least start here, and it will send you in the right directions for whatever you're dealing with your PTSD. PTSD is so many different things. There's a bunch of symptoms. Everybody don't have the same symptoms. Some people have symptoms that dominate all of the other symptoms, that kind of thing. So it's whatever kind of help you need. But I can tell you, if you ever just truly are in trouble, you can just call, my heart want to say call the police or 911. That's kind of sketchy lately. Just walk into an emergency room and tell somebody that I'm struggling, I need some help, and they will put you where you need to be, or so put you in the right direction. But with the VA, through the VA, which is who I deal with a lot, they have the VA admin. What do we call it? And it's free. Like, you just have to let them know that you were a veteran. Oh my gosh, the VA, but it's not attached to the VA, but it's called the Veteran Administration Therapy Center. I can't think of the name of it. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure I put it in the chat down, later. Right. But it's free, and you go in there, and they will put you with the right people. You can actually ask when you go for a therapist. You can say, "Hey, like me, I said I do not want a male. I only want a female." You can stipulate what you need to be comfortable enough to start your therapy, or you can just go in there and say, "Hey, whatever I need." But the biggest thing is say something to somebody. Don't let nobody. Don't struggle by yourself. Say something, and then say something again, and then say something again, and then say something again.
Yeah, not everybody does have a VA, the VA system, especially a lot of the cats that we are on set with. So talk to your brothers, talk to your sisters. If they're wearing the same patch as you, they call you their brother, that they tell you they love you. If they call you their sister, if these people that are willing to ride next to you, and God forbid a bike goes down, they will die with you. They love you. If you can't tell them, "Hey, I'm going through something. Hey, I'm sad today. Hey, maybe, hey, can I talk to you about this, that, and the third?" You should. That's what these people are for. That's what they're supposed to be for. So don't forget. You don't have to be. You don't got to be. I guess it took me a long time to realize that too. That not everybody that has PTSD was in the military. So don't think you can't reach out to. You don't have to talk to a therapist. You don't have to use a VA. Granted, you probably you should. I'm not telling you not to use a therapist. I'm just saying, reach out to your friends. Tell people.
Reach out to your
what's
friends.
going
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Tell somebody. That's what I'm saying. Tell somebody. And if that somebody doesn't want to listen, and I know it's a hard thing to say. It's easier to say. It's a hard thing to do. It's easier to say, but tell the next person. Somebody believes in you. Somebody believes in you enough. And it's usually that first person that's come to your mind that really is the one you need to talk to. But sometimes we don't want to taint the relationship. Like one of my secrets was I didn't want people to know that I wasn't as put together as I looked.
Right.
Or that I was as strong as I looked. Like I had this weakness behind me. I've owned like 2 businesses that were very prominent businesses. And I'll never forget talking to, I was in the wedding industry, and I had this one guy who just absolutely adored me. And I was so afraid for him to find out my PTS mess going on, because then I became less of a person in his eye.
Right.
It wasn't like that. He thinks I'm still the best thing that ever happened, and I love him for it, Kevin. I love him for it. But it's just PTSD will, and some people will try, it'll try to make you feel shame. And you have to kind of break through that. I'm glad now, since COVID, it is easier. It is easier for you to talk about it and not be shamed for it. It's more acceptable now to talk about mental health.
I think so. At least I would like to. I like to think so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because 98% of people in this world got problems. So they're
absolutely.
just not like yours, but they have problems.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You shouldn't be afraid to tell your friends or your brothers or your sisters. Like, we should all. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. But I have another question. So, have you ever felt unsafe or underestimated as a woman in this space? And if so, how do you push through it?
The brothers that I'm around, they have all made me feel secure. I've never felt threatened by any of them, and they are kind of protective. So I've never been anywhere, gone anywhere that they let me or put me in a situation where I didn't feel comfortable. Now, personally, have I walked past somebody and felt that something that I knew I needed to go the other way? My spidey senses, yes, I have done
Yeah,
that. And so I do
I think we all.
I do have my internal thing that kicks in. And as long it's I identify it, and I'll move along. As long as it doesn't follow me, I'm okay. I'm not going to start any problems. Um, on the road, I do have help on my on my hip that I would use if I have to. um, but you know what? I'm gonna be very honest with you. My very first ride that I did, I went to West Virginia to a camp out, motor camping. I did not sleep in. I since the army, I don't do camping like on the ground. I stayed in a cabin. So, but it was a motor camp when we all met up there, and I was worried that me being number one, a single female, a black female alone, was going to be an issue. I was going up into West Virginia. I lost a little bit of that of fear because on the ride, whenever I stopped, people would come up to me and just talk about, "Oh my gosh, you're so brave. You're so, I got all these these loving pushes, like you're doing great, patting me on my back. Oh my gosh, I wish I was on a bike ride, and you're doing wonderful." I had people come up and pay for gas. The significance for me,
Wow.
being who I am, the significance for me was that they were all white. I had one black guy say something to me, and he just, hey, and kept going. But everybody that stopped and talked to me was white. And that was huge at the time, because that was right after the Charlottesville
Uh,
issue up in
yeah.
West Virginia. So that was huge to me. It made me realize that everybody's not evil, everybody's bad. The majority of people in this world are good, and good's going to always, to me, outweigh evil. Same thing when I went to the West Coast. People kept saying, "Don't go, don't go. You're going by yourself. You're female. You don't need to go by yourself." And I actually, when I got ready to leave that morning, I had to stop because my anxiety was trying to kick in because of what everybody else was saying. I
Right.
knew I felt okay about it, but everybody else, and I had to realize and shake off what everybody else was saying to go.
Mhm.
But even out there, I went to a group of guys at the Four Corners monument, and they walked up to me. It was 8 of them, I think. They all hugged me. "Hey, sis, how are you? Where you coming from? Where are you going?" And the guy took the picture, turned out to be their safety guy, as they dubbed him. He checked my bike out to make sure my bike was okay so far. So everybody that I've run into have not given me a reason to feel unsafe, but I know that I can't let that put me into a false sense of security.
Right. Still stay
Mhm.
vigilant.
I still say diligent, and I really truly don't really talk to people. That group of guys, they were just, I knew they were okay for whatever reason. The way they came, I knew they were okay. And then it was like in a very, very public place with a whole bunch of people. So, but I don't play around at the gas station. I do, I get on the bike, get my gas, do what I have to do. I say hi, but I'm not carrying on a conversation
Yeah.
with anybody. I
That's the
don't want to
first
give
time
them
I've heard
that.
that about going to the West Coast as a lady. I've never. I guess I know a lot of lady riders from the West Coast. So
Yeah,
that's why it's the first time I've heard that somebody say don't. But I guess if you were by yourself, obviously stay vigilant too. So I understand.
right, right.
Well, I have another one. So fitness, mindset, and motion all seem to collide in your story. So how has your physical strength supported your mental resilience?
Physically, um, I am a lot stronger with this bike. My bike weighs 900 pounds. So, but we all know that once the bike is moving,
Right.
it's
Momentum.
that weight doesn't really truly come into play. It does, but it doesn't. Um, I have learned to that what I eat while I'm riding, what I drink while I'm riding, and just in general, how I sleep and all that really makes a big deal in how much I'm going to enjoy that ride as far as physically. Um, the release from the stress and just the being free makes everything else small.
Wow.
Did I miss the question? Did I miss the other half? What
No,
was
no,
the other
no,
half?
no, ma'am, not at all. I'm just listening to you. It's very inspiring. You don't see, and maybe it's just the world that I was in, but it's just very inspiring to see a lady that loves this much and is, no pun intended, fearless about how she explains it and rides, and it's just it's cool. It's very cool. It's dope.
I think one of my other things, because I catch myself thinking about it. I don't overthink my rides. Like I want to go. I'm going to do the triple nickel in Ohio sometime this in July. I got a couple of rides in July. My next big ride will be in September for my birthday again. I don't even know where that's going to be, but wherever it is, I'll just get on the bike and ride. I don't overthink the ride. I get on it and I go. Whatever happens, I'll deal with it when it happens. Like going out to coming down Pikes Peak, it started snowing. I mean, it was in a section of the mountain, but if it was about maybe 2 miles, there was snow coming at me. And I got down, and then I was going to leaving there to go to the $1 million highway, which I've been trying to do for the last since 2021, 2022. I got COVID. I was going out there in 2022 and got COVID and couldn't go because I got really sick. And so I'm still trying to get to the $1 million highway. My niece, Tamara, she said hello. My niece is my weather person. So I do have a pit crew. I don't know if I said that. I have a pit crew when I'm out on the road by myself. But my niece came and said, Auntie, you still going to $1 million highway? And I said, yeah. She said, it's snowing over there. So I couldn't go. So okay, fine. Where am I going? Let's reroute me. I just, whatever happens, happens. And I'm okay with that. So whoever rides with me got to be willing to just go with the flow. It's not an adventure till something happens.
Absolutely,
So
and that's cool. That's
yeah.
really cool. So I have one last question for you, and then Shawo can take back over. But and obviously, God forbid, this question just happens to be nothing more than that, just a question.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
If this was your last ride and this mic was your last message, what is something you want the world to remember about Fearless?
They call me fearless. The initial group of guys I started riding with that were didn't feel so macho that they let this young girl, this young lady, well, I was 55, but this young lady ride
Still a young lady.
a Honda 750, and they were all on big bikes, and so my little Honda was doing this thing to keep up, and I used to tell them that, don't worry, you're not gonna leave me. They are the one. That's why I say they call me fearless. They call me fearless. Like I was really thinking about that. They call me fearless, and people have called me fearless so much that I think it's one of those, call those things that aren't as though they are. And so now it's not that I'm actually fearless, but that hesitation has been removed. So what I would want, if how I look at all of my postings on social media, is if my great somebody is looking for an ancestor and they find me, I want them to say, that was my great grandmother, and she was phenomenal, or she wasn't, she did it afraid, or that she carved her own way and she made her own name a legend. I want my family to be proud of me down the road when they see whatever I've done. So it is that's a huge ask to be, to make sure I carve out the right things and leave the right impression on the world. I know that I'm not going to be in the headlines when my day come, like the big people that everybody know just by name. But I hope that my family and my friends will realize the impact of me leaving.
Wow.
I want to say that was definitely a powerful message, and clearly we hope you're gonna keep riding. You know what I'm saying, for many more years to come. Because you are making these great strides, and with you saying you don't even know where your next ride is gonna be. I feel you on that. Sometimes I don't even know where it's gonna be. I'll just wake up one day and probably like, I just want to go here.
Yes.
Um, so wherever that adventure takes you, anybody out there that's trying to hop on the road with her and ground pound, hey, make sure you're ready, because listen, she gonna take you through the ringer. All right, you gotta keep
I'm
up.
going to pull them. I will pull them, but I will pull them at their own pace. I'll pull them at their own pace. I have patience with people. I know, because that's the other thing. Somebody had patience with me, and so I will pass that on. If they want to ride and they want to make, if it's their first long distance ride, I'll be patient with them. But we're going to get there. I'm not going to let you turn around. You're going to get through it. So,
I guess that's a question I have for you too. Since you mentioned turning around, has there ever been a ride where you've been riding, you just like, well, probably the one when you went up the mountain to the peak, but is there been any rides with that had you like, maybe I just want to turn around, I'm just not feeling the ride anymore, or
yeah,
have you no rides?
I just need to go home. No. Now, you know what? Like, I was supposed to be going to Black Girls Ride in Essence Fest down in New Orleans this coming week, but I'm not going because I just came from that direction. I don't want to go. Like, I'm not that person that goes back, just keep repeating something. So I don't want to go back that way. If I got this time now, I've already been through Louisiana because I did the I-10 end to end. Did I say that? The reason I left here I was going to Oklahoma, Tulsa. I left here and went to Tulsa, spent time in Tulsa, and then made my way to Santa Monica Pier, the Santa Monica Pier, to do the I-10 end to end. So I went through New Orleans. I spent time in Slidell and did all that, came back. So I just really don't have this, oh my gosh, I need to go back to New Orleans. That's the only time I'll cancel a trip if I just so happen been that way and something's coming up. I don't like doing things twice if I don't have to.
Yeah.
If I don't have to. So it's not a trip until I fill up twice, then it becomes a trip. If I don't fill up twice, I haven't gone anywhere.
I'm gonna use that philosophy.
That's cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I know we spoke about possible, going to, well, not possible, because I speaking to you, I know once you say you're gonna do it, the Alaska trip. So
Yes.
what is the time frame for that? You have a time frame in the works for that, or
August of 2026. I want to. I'm sorry. There's somebody's fireworks. Somebody threw up some fireworks and dogs freaking out. But August of 2026, and I say August because I want to go up Glacier. I want to see Glacier Park National Park. I want to go to Glacier National Park, and the best time to go there is August. Also, I'm not a crowd person, even though I could go to it, but I'm not a crowd person. So I'm not like a huge, oh my gosh, I got to go to Sturgis person. I keep telling people I'm gonna ride down the main street with my camera, get the video, stopping by a t-shirt, and keep it moving. That's how I feel about Sturgis. But I want to see that whole area.
Well, you can ride through Sturgis. You don't have to wait till Sturgis Bike Rally. Sturgis is a town in South Dakota, so you could.
Well, you know what? Because I said that. This is Ed. This is my road dog. But people say that, but they're like, well, if you're gonna go out there, why not go so you can say you went to Sturgis? But I got it.
When you go to Sturgis, that's why.
But the main reason I'm choosing that time is Sturgis or whatever. But the main reason I'm actually choosing that time is because of Glacier National Park. That'll be the most optimum time to go, and that it won't be closed off. I'll have a better chance of going to the riding the road to the sun and all that. So if I can incorporate that, it doesn't have to be the whole month of August. It could be July, August, September. However, I need to be able to. I'm not going to go all that way and not go to Glacier National Park. That is like a huge thing on my list. So that's in that time frame. And then going up to Prudhoe Bay, I'm going all the way to Prudhoe Bay because I'm not going to ride all the way that way and not like that doesn't make sense to me. But I also want to go to the Arctic Circle and put my finger, not my feet, not my body, but my finger in the Arctic Ocean because it's cold. But you know what? But other than that, my other big ride, which if I get it together, will be to Andalusia, Spain. Go and spend a week there and ride. That's like on my list. Ireland is on my list. So,
would you rent a motorcycle out there? Or do you think you're going to ship yours?
When I retire, I'll ship my bike, but now I have to come back to a job, so I'll rent.
Right. I hear you.
As a matter of fact, I'll go through a company that will do a self-guided tour for me. They'll put it in a GPS. They give you a GPS. This particular ride, the reason I chose this particular one in Andalusia is because it is the architecture there is historic. It's very nice. It's beyond nice, actually. But they base you out of a resort, and each day you ride out to different places, and you come back to the resort. So I'll be able to appreciate that more than just backpacking it on a motorcycle for the whole day. Even though I would do it, it wouldn't, if that was the way I had to do it, I would do it.
Yeah,
I
that
say
would.
definitely drop that company information so that way we
Oh,
can.
sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot
we
of
can
people
go as a
probably.
group. Here I am once again. We can all go.
Let's ride out.
We can all
I
go. But
know,
when I
right?
tell you I'm
Left
going
Lane
at this
Chronicles.
time, you all got. I'm not going to change my plans because unless it makes sense. But we can all go together. I would love for us all to go.
Hey, y'all hear that chat?
All
Yes.
right.
Sure, y'all clear up your calendars, all right?
You got 19 people watching, so you're gonna have a house full.
Hey, ride at
19.
dawn.
See if we can get one or two out of that, huh?
Right now 19 would go, and then the day of, that's for sure. That's how it
That's
goes.
how I end up riding along because I didn't start out being a solo rider. I never even thought about being a solo rider. I would make these rides and these plans, and people I think they generally want to go, but not as much as I want to go.
Yeah. I think a
Yeah,
lot of people's anxiety gets on the day of, or they start doing all that what ifs. What if I
yeah.
don't make this? What if this happens? What, man, you just got to get on the bike and
You
ride.
got to go and get through it. And one of the things that I'm getting now since I've done the ride to the West Coast is that I have guys coming up to me and they apologize. I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but I know if you could do it as a female, that I can do it. And I don't feel disrespected with them saying that. Like, if you feel like if that's your motivation and that's what you need, fine, do it. I don't, I'm okay with it. If I somehow encouraged you to do it, I'm okay with however you see it. Just do it because um, you will never be disappointed in it unless you just do something stupid.
But that goes into what you said earlier too. Like people will tell you, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, or they'll give you that fear factor, and
Right.
I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people too, is that people get in their ear and that fear factor sets in. So I just say this, you know, don't let someone else's fears stop you from living your life. Keep moving
Right.
forward. Keep doing what makes you happy. If it feels good in your spirit, go ahead and do it. If your spirit tells you not to ride, don't ride. Sit back and be cool. You
Right.
know,
Right.
never force anything.
Trust yourself. Trust yourself. And one thing I will say that helped me with my writing the way it is today is when I did my first Iron Butt, that 1,000 miles
Mm.
in 24 hours. Because now I know that I could do 1,000 miles in 24 hours. I don't have to, but I know that I can, which means I know I can ride 500 miles a day. If, that's what it takes. You can plan out a trip and say, hey, I know I can ride 500 miles, or I know that I can ride 300. You don't have to ride that long. My average day when I was on the road was 550 miles a day, but but that's me. I get my peace and everything from it's the ride for me. It's not the destination. But there was a couple of days I did 300. There's one day I did 200, but
It's like
get out
someone
and get
always
out
says,
and
"Ride your ride."
work on the iron butt. If you work on your iron butt, and I'm good what you're doing on highway, 500 miles one way, 500 miles back. It's doing it that
Yeah,
makes you want to do more.
true. Shawel, you have anything else?
Um, I, I honestly, I'm just blown away by the information and actually having you on. And I know
You
just based off the chats, you have a big support system. So
Chat's been
you
blowing
know,
up.
just know they here for you. We here for you. And people in the chat, if you ever need somebody, what I'm saying, feel free to reach out. Um,
yes. Oh
I
yeah.
always
Reach
I always
out.
got an ear open to help out. You know what I'm saying? If you need somebody, you need an ear. Uh, but I'm gonna let cut off. Take it away from here. I have unless you have something you want to say, fearless to
Um,
send everybody off for the night.
I want to say thank you and love to all of my support team and people who just are inspired by me. I'm glad that I can do it. Um, this is very authentic. I just want, I love people. I'm a people person. I work in a people industry, and I just want everyone to be who they could be and do it to the fullest, because life is, I know this is cliche, it is very short.
Sure.
It doesn't go the way you want to. I saw a sign that said, on the back of a Jeep, it said, adventure, as many adventures as possible before dementia. I thought that was cute. But I
Yeah.
mean, we think death and all this, but yeah, now we got to deal with not being able to know to go. So go out and have a good time, no matter what it is. It could be skating, it could be swimming, whatever it is that you want to do, do it. PTS, ask for help, ask for help, ask for help. Your answer is there. You just have to keep asking. You have to keep knocking on doors. You got to keep seeking. The answer is there. Um, and then just follow me over to my channel, which is basically set up for posterity. Like it's a lot of people that have a lot of channels that are, very entertaining. My channel is posterity. It's there so that somebody can find me down the road.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Fearless didn't come here to be liked. She came here to be heard. Speak for the writers who feel too broken to show up, for the survivors who think silence is safer, and for anyone who's ever been told healing has to be polite. You just met a woman who proved that healing can have horsepower.
Yes.
Every mile's a memory. Every voice is a legacy. We'll see y'all in the next lane. Stay dangerous. Take care of each other. Be sweet to each other. Be nice to each other. Call your friends. Call your brothers. Call your sisters. Tell everybody you love them. Peace and love.
Yeah.
And also, go get your gear from First MFG and Eagle Lights. All right. Use the code
Oh yes.
ShyWill_Glide if you want your discounts. And remember, keep them twos down. We are out.